What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Speak of Nuts storytime video. Today, we are going to be talking about the first time that I ever got pulled over by the police. And you know what's freaking hilarious? The day of recording this, I got pulled over about 2 days ago by a cop. I was going 69 and a 45, and I got let off with a verbal warning. I have no clue how the heck that happened, but you know what? I'm not going to complain, all right? I don't owe $300 to the government, and I'm not in jail. So all I got to say is, if you're watching this, Mr. Copy, I appreciate you. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into today's story time. Today we're going to be talking about the first time that I ever got pulled over. And believe it or not, for an underage person, I had contraband on myself, all right? So let's go ahead and dive right into it, all right? It's the last day of high school in 2022. I believe it was either late May or early June. I couldn't even remember. But I do know that we graduated officially and walked the stage in June. So I'm going to say it's very late May. But I have a Mustang at this time, all right? And it was a V6. It was not one of the cool GTs or nothing like that. But I thought I was the shit, okay? I'm a freaking 18 or 17, 18-year old in high school. And I'm like, hey, I got a Mustang. I own the freaking world. And one of my other buddies, he had like a 19 old ass Cobra Mustang. That's all I can really say. And for this, you know what? We can say his name because there's a lot of these names in the world. His name was James. All right. Well, not was, it still is James. But yeah, there's a lot of people that I know that are named James. So he had an old Mustang. I won't tell you what kind, but he had an older Mustang and it had a V8 engine in it. And it was a pretty quick car. And, well, you're going to find out for reasons later that he's very lucky that I stopped instead of him for the cop. So, anyway, we're leaving the last day of high school, the last day of classes. We're like, hell yeah. And we're all going to work. Okay, me, him, and a buddy, we all work at the same place at the time, all right? And it was a steakhouse. And no, it was not Texas Roadhouse. It was a different one, all right? And it was the only one in this particular state. So it was actually pretty popular on the weekends, but it's extremely popular now, I can tell you that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's kind of like Texas Roadhouse, but a lot smaller. Anyway, I was going to work, and well, he was going to work too because we worked at the same spot. And so we end up at this light on a road that, by the way, has a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit. Okay. And we decide, hey, let's freaking take off and race each other. All right. And I already know that I'm going to lose this battle because I'm in a V6. All right. I don't have any front end power. The only thing I have is the top end power. Okay. Like when I'm getting towards the end, the V6s, they don't have much horsepower, but you know, they still put out a decent amount of speed. So when this light turns green, we both take off like bats out of hell. Okay, we were freaking zooming. All right, and then at some point he lets off. You know, he's freaking 10 car lengths ahead of me. You know, he's a good 50 feet or so ahead of me, or something like that. I can't really remember, but a marginable amount. And he lets off the gas. Well, I keep going just to be a little bit cocky, and then well, woo 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 woo, I get freaking pulled over. And of course, I'm pooping my pants. I'm 18 years old and I've never been pulled over before. So I'm like, oh crap, I'm going to die. Okay, what really sucks about this is I have a huge lip of dip in my mouth. Yes, I had a huge lip of dip in my mouth. All right, I'm not going to lie. I was a dip fiend back then. And, well, when he was walking up to the car is when I realized it. And so this is my contraband. I swallowed it. Okay. I swallowed the dip. And I don't know if you've ever had dip before, but you're not supposed to swallow that shit. Okay. You're supposed to spit when you want to spit. Right. And so, yeah, that shit sucked. I'm not going to lie. I had probably a quarter of the can in my mouth because that's when I was on my freaking nicotine binge. All right. Not anymore, by the way. Thank God. But so the whole time that the cop is coming up to my car. Okay, he's probably got about a 40-foot walk because this dude parks a shitload behind me. Okay, like he thinks I'm gonna take off and he's leaving plenty of room to drag race me out of there. But anyway, I'm trying to swallow this dip because I didn't have a bottle, I didn't have a trash bag, So, and I thought I was going to die because, I'm 18 years old. Like, I can't have this stuff. I'm going to die. And I didn't want to rat out the gas station that was selling it to me underage because, you know, appreciate you, gas station. Anyway, it wasn't even a gas station, by the way. But either way, I started swallowing it, okay? And I was gagging the entire time that the officer got up there. All right. And I was fully prepared to go to jail because I was doing like, he clocked me in at 75 and a 35. Okay. And I don't remember exactly what I said to this officer, but I just remember sitting there and taking it like, like a little bitch pretty much. I was sitting there, yes, sir, no, sir. I was going too fast. All the bells and whistles. And well, I get let off with a ticket. I didn't even have to go to court. It was a criminal ticket. It was like $215 or something like that. He only got me with I think doing like double the speed limit, like 25 or like 50 and a 20 or whatever the shit it was. I don't even know. I think it was 25 over. He got me with 60 and a 35 instead of 75 and a 35. So I avoided jail that day, and well, I didn't have to rat out the gas station that was selling dip to underage minors. So that's a double. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just kidding, it's not over. So I get to work, right? And well, I'm feeling a little bit queasy. From where I got pulled over was about 2 minutes from where okay, I don't know why I crashed there. From where I got pulled over was about 2 minutes away from my work. I don't work far from the high school I went. Well, I didn't work far from the high school that I went to. Anyway, I get to work and I'm like, yo, I just got pulled over. And the dude who was in front of me, he was like, bro, thank you. I was like, what are you talking about, brother? And he was like, dude, my car isn't registered. I have a suspended license or something was going on with his license. I don't even remember. And he didn't have insurance and it wasn't registered. So not only did I lose a street race, I paid 200 and something dollars. All right. And I covered this man's buns because he didn't have his car registered or nothing like that. I take it as a win-win because this is a cool guy for real. And, I took the fall for one of the boys. Anyway, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. Follow me on TikTok at Speaking Nuts. Follow me on Instagram at Nathan_Wood. And subscribe, like. Let me know what story time you want to hear next. I don't have any limits, so as long as it's not illegal. Anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one.